Okay, so as I was saying, you kind of have to work hard to not do well in my course. And how do you do that? Not read the chapters. Using AI to do most of your work. And so whenever it comes time for a proctored exam, um, it's difficult to understand. Okay. And I'll talk about AI here in a little bit. I'm quite aware of it as our MSBA faculty. I mean, we are the experts in it on this campus. I'll talk about that shortly. So the grading allocation, reading exercises, how your grade is compiled. 9%, roughly 10% on exercises. This is the quantitative things that you'll do. Okay. Your chapter quizzes are more conceptual, multiple choice. Okay. You have an applied analytic system immersion, and what that is, it involves using Tableau. I have a setup that I've used. I used to be at TCU, okay, and I created a little bit of a thing, an exercise there. However, there's some issues with Tableau that I'm finding out, so that may have to be pivoted to Power BI. I'll let you know as we get closer to that. It's a small weighted, but it's more just to kind of get you familiar. I'd like to do Alteryx, but that's a whole other system. Um, you got your team research project, and there's about five components to that. And in this syllabus, there's some brief overview of those components. Your midterm and then your final exam. But if you look here, your midterm and final exam is 36%. 36 plus 28 is what, 64% on just your team stuff and your midterm and final. So every little thing adds up. One big difference between your class and the in-person is I grade labs. I provide the labs to you in this class, um, with the expectation you'll work on it on your own. In class, the first part of it, we discuss the content. The second half, we work a lab. So the onus is on you to do like the lab, and it kind of affirms and it connects your exercises to your quizzes and your learning, but it's not graded per se in this class because um, it's not a uh, performed live as we do. And so, but you can get that feedback, right? So if you want to watch it whenever I record our class videos, you can kind of look at it. But you do get the code. It's all in Python. There's not one for chapter one or week one. Okay, here's the points. So you get to drop two of your quizzes, two of your exercises. Maybe you didn't do too well. A couple of things. Your quizzes and your midterms and final, those open at 3 on a specific day and they close at 11. And that's done on purpose because on those same days, the in-person traditional class also has the exam. I'm not saying anybody from your class would do this, but in the past, some folks in prior classes start handing over questions to other students that haven't taken the exam. This mitigates it. Like they will have already taken the test and it's a closed book. They don't get to use resources and the expectation. We'll talk about that on when I get closer to the midterm. So, anyways, just there's a lot that goes into it. This is not just whenever you see the blackboard. That's not like we get this and we just kind of throw it together. I had to architect every bit of this and bring in different components. So the design of the course um, took a lot. It took a lot just what would be appropriate. What like I've curated all of the questions for the quizzes, exercises, and how it all comes together. Right. So just understand it's not just push a button and we get it kapoof. Right. So it takes time. Um, please keep whatever you see in your learning within this class, and I would not freely distribute it. You could get into copyright violation laws, and I do mean this. If you freely distribute stuff that you do not have privy to, this is really more for the international students because the domestic students know this. Um, you literally could be in violation of U.S. copyright rules and laws and authorities to pay or could investigate. I'll just leave it at that. So just keep what you're learning here to yourself and don't freely distribute it. That's all I'm going to say. So assignments. You get your exercises. There's 12 of them. Here's a brief write up. You got your quizzes. They're not too long, 10 minutes. I've already talked about the applied learning. This is some overview stuff on your research project. Like I said, your team's already assigned. You have a proposal report that's due on the 8th, and then you'll have a video recording presentation that's due on the week 8 as well. So you'll have a report, and then you also have a presentation. I've got some templates for what I say, where I graded with really high marks, okay, where students did really well. Then this was in 2022 and 2023, where AI was not used. And so I encourage you to use it sparingly. Use your resources of humans. I've got some research will be coming out next month. It's a colleague read it and said this is dystopian. That's like it's true though. And I told you we all have our specialties in AI in the MSBA program. Okay. My specialty is I build chatbots, and I like to look at the psychology piece on how people engage with them and how their critical thinking either increases, decreases, how the relationships form. Dr. Ross has a whole other level of using AI and his specialty, and Dr. Ross or Dr. Murtaza as well. My research shows the more that you cognitively offload your system to your deep, complex thinking, you'll develop atrophy. Humans will develop atrophy. And so we will be left with more than basically system one thinking, which is like basic walks of life, moving one step forward, turning into a zombie, right? You're like, this is craziness. It's true though, to a large extent. Our research has shown this, and I'm talking about, I collaborate with high powered psychologists. The more that we depend upon a tool and a technology to do the intuitive, novel, creative things, and we let an AI system that hallucinates, um, that is not 100% accurate, do our thinking for us, we become the tool and it becomes the architect. My anti-AI, no, not at all. I just want moderate, careful, mindful usage of it. I think we got medical breakthroughs, being able to identify patterns that we've never been able to see before. I think there's wonderful usages of AI. It's not being consumed with it so that we go on autopilot and we don't think for ourselves anymore. That's my big thing. So that's my short spiel on AI. Can you use it as class? If you're going to use it in a capacity to teach you. That's all I'd ask. Do not ask it to write your report. I run it through 4 different screeners. One's extremely sensitive. The other two are they pick up different elements. So all research is screened. I can't emphasize this enough. Um, to detect if it's AI generated. If it is based on a threshold, then I just basically say this is a 0 1. You've got 4 brilliant minds. There's 9 groups, 4 brilliant mind students that want to learn, leverage each other. I get this every semester. Every semester. 2 of us did the work, 2 of us didn't. 2 of them didn't. Why do they got to get credit? We can talk about that. If you start having an issue like that, let me know. If we need to, we can do a team split. I am not opposed to splitting a team. Um, remember, I come from corporate. I'm not an act. I'm what you would call a pracademic, so practice and academic. I've seen in the corporate life people getting credit for doing nothing because of entitlement, and I have really little patience for it. Right? So I'm not a big fan of participation awards. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just telling you, I believe in people that work their tail off. They should get the credit. And may every nine team do that. You all work together. But it's a personal thing of I'm not a big fan of entitlement. So do your work, draft it. If you must use AI if you want to, prompt it to say red team my paper. Red teaming means stress test it. Red team it in the capacity of, is this a strong introduction? What recommendations? Red team my methods, right? Hold on. I'm back. Red team the methods. Give me insight. What would make this better? See, those types of prompts are not saying give it to me. They're layered in a way to teach you something, to help you to see something that you wouldn't otherwise notice. Okay.